I'd have to say about money. First things, God gives, give God the first fruits, the top, whatever's there first is what we need to give God. God made the earth in the beginning. God created the heavens and the earth. Okay. Even secular publications, there's like a principle here. When we give to charities, God blesses us, whether it's the church or some other charitable organization, and God will bless us. For in James 1 it talks about if we take care of the widow and the orphan, that God will bless us. Okay, and that's true Christianity. You know, true religion is this, that you take care of the widow and the orphan. Okay, are we robbing God? Malachi 3. You're cursed if you are robbing God, robbing me, the whole nation of you. Bring the whole tithe into the storehouse. Bring the whole tithe. And in other words, they weren't bringing the entire tithe, they were just bringing a portion of the tithe. So that there may be food in my house, and test me on this, says the Lord of hosts. If I will not open for you the windows of heaven and pour out for you the blessings until it overflows, then I will rebuke and devour. Yeah. Okay. And if we're not living under blessings and we're living under a curse, then I will rebuke and devour you, so that you will not destroy the fruits of the ground, nor will your vine or fields cast its grapes, says the Lord of hosts. Okay. Also, another biblical principle is every 4 years letting the land rest. And we just don't do that. We plant cover crops, but we don't just let the land rest and produce whatever it's going to and then leave it alone like God tells us to. And in Israel, it turned to desert because they weren't obeying God's law. And so the ground no longer produced. Proverbs 3:9 through 10. Honor the Lord with your wealth, with the first fruits of your crops. Then your barns will be filled to overflowing, and your vats will brim with new wine. Sorry. So, his first fruits. Now, there's another verse, I couldn't find it, I looked for about an hour. And it told us to, if we didn't get the tithes in on time, to give 1/5 in addition to the tithe. Mm-hmm. And when I do that, I have enough money. When I don't do that, I don't have enough money. If we don't get our tithe in on time, and then we say, oh, I'll just do it the second or third week of the month, if we get, a monthly check or whatever, however you get paid, then it will not be blessed to the Lord, because it wasn't your first fruits. And this has been proved over and over in my life. So,
always take it out first.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's the ideal thing. And if you forget, then you have to get another $20 on 100 to add to it. So, otherwise, your just check isn't going to go as far, period.
Mm-hmm.
So, penny pinching. Okay. Things you can do around the house. Rewashing baggies. The toilet is the biggest water waster in our homes, between the toilet and the washing machine. And We use the toilet a whole lot more than we do the washing machine, that's for sure. And the toilet, if you can, you know, if you're doing number one, you know, wait 2 or 3 times before you flush it. And anyways, it's a lot of water saved. And we use so much clean water, and there's other countries that are dying for lack of water, you know. The $21 challenge. This, I found this on a website. This Australian lady, she was given, her husband inadvertently gave her $20 for the groceries. It was a joke to him. And she took it seriously. And so she utilized what she had at home in the cupboards, and then rummaged around and found $1 and change. And so she was able to use up what she had home, and then buy for her family of 4, probably the necessities, milk, whatever she needed to make up the rest of her meal plan for that week. So if we do this $21 challenge once a week, we'll find more creative ways to make our dollars stretch. One week out of the month, sorry, not once a week. Tea and coffee. Okay, make your own, take it with you. And don't buy, you know, even if it's 79 cents, if you make it at home, it's cheaper. If it's, I mean, coffee's what, $1.50? It's an expense you don't need to have. If you like the fancy coffees, you can make them at home with cinnamon and vanilla and other spices. I do this all the time. You can have like a coffee cup that you take with you that has a lid on it, obviously, and I have my tea bottle that I made. You know, I bought it the first time and then I reused it. So this is my tea from home with stevia in it, and it'll help you to be able to do things more healthy too if you're making it at home. So, excuse me. All right, don't buy lunch out if you can help it. Pack your lunch. You can use a thermal bag. You can use a thermos for whatever fluids you take with you. Order water when you're out at a restaurant. I'm a firm believer in date night. Now that doesn't mean you have to go to the Ritz. You can go to a mom and pop restaurant, and it's $6 a plate. You can split a bag of French fries with your husband or wife, as long as you're out spending time with one you love.
You know, when you order water and you can get lemons for free, you
Yeah.
can make your own lemonade.
Right, yeah, actually I do that. Yeah, the sweeteners dissolve a whole lot easier in the water, the ice water.
Well, you can
than
get
what
hot,
the
but they
sugar
give you
does.
hot water too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Anyways, yeah. Good point, Jackie. All right, so you order water. If you're out and you have to eat, use the dollar menu. When I'm going to school, if I forget to put a can of soup in my backpack, that's what I do. That's my lunch. Quick, easy. I'll go to Circle K and get a hot dog for $1. So, you know, whatever your dollar menu looks like, whether it's Circle K or McDonald's or Burger King, you know, it's not the healthiest thing, but don't overspend. Don't spend $5 when you can get away with one for lunch. All right. Okay. Plunger or snake. This is about toilet repairs. If you get your toilet stopped up. I've bought a snake at the Dollar King here in town. It's our $1 store. It doesn't have to be expensive. You can spend probably $10 for a snake if you want to at a hardware store. And it probably won't rust as much as mine has. But it's this big long thing, and you put it in the toilet, and then you crank it around, or in your other drains. It's work in your tub and your shower as well. And
Yeah, I have one of those.
yeah, and there's a plunger you can use, a smaller plunger. You don't use the same one in the toilet as you do in the sink. But you can use the plunger for the sink too. And also the trap of the sink, you can unscrew it and then empty it out. And then screw it back in. You're going to want to put some plumber's putty on it when you do that, around the threads of the screw. I'm saying screw, but it's actually a pipe. But anyways, around the threads of the pipe, you get some plumber's putty for down about $3-4 at the hardware store, and you're going to have it for about 3 years, or until it dries out. But you put that on the trap, the little S-shaped thing at the bottom of your sink. So when you clean it out, okay, go green. Now green generally, oops, I did the wrong thing. Okay, green to me means cheaper. All right. If we wash our dishes instead of using paper plates or styrofoam plates take 500 years to break down. So we shouldn't even be using them in the first place. Styrofoam in general. I mean, if it's heated enough, then it'll melt, but then what do you have? So then it actually causes carcinogenics, which cause cancer if it's heated too much with the styrofoam. Cloth napkins, handkerchiefs, and again, something that you reuse and you wash yourself, and it's gonna be cheaper than disposable. And diapers too. I'm just gonna say it because it's another thing. And even sanitary napkins. You can make those from cloth. Sorry. It's essentially a form of a diaper, but for ladies, you can make them from cloth with the sewing machine or hands, and you'll have them. And also incontinence problems, the same thing. It's something that you can rewash is going to be a lot cheaper economically than something that you have to continuously pay for. All right, don't buy ice. I've seen ice in a freezer of someone one of my girlfriends, I went over to her house, and her freezer was empty, her fridge was almost empty at the end of the month, but she had paid for ice. And to me, that's just a waste. Because all you gotta do is buy these little trays, 2 for $1, and fill them up and refill them. Also, keep a cooler in the trunk of your car if you're in a warm weather state.
Yeah, I do that.
And just use that for your groceries instead of buying 10 pounds of ice to keep it cold till you get home. It's what, $2, $2.50, depending on where you go to buy ice. You don't have to. Don't shop hungry. And so eat something before you get to the store, even if you have to stop at McDonald's before you get to the grocery store or wherever. I'm trying to eat more healthy these days. Or buy something when you're first in the grocery store to eat a piece of fruit or something. And then eat it and then go shopping. And that'll keep you from buying the chips and the cookies and all the garbage that you don't need to eat anyways because it's not healthy. Our bodies are the temple of the Holy Spirit, which temple you are. And if we're filling it with simple carbohydrates that turn into sugar, and then we wonder why we get sick and we're not healed. It's because we're disobeying God's law principle that, we got to take care of ourselves. And the same thing with the earth. I mean, in Tucson right now, their water aquifer has diesel fuel in it because somebody didn't take care of it. Because somebody wasn't paying attention to the runoff. Okay, dish soap and hand soap. You know those little fizzy soaps that just foam up when you push on they have a little foam chamber in them? And for a hand soap dispenser.
Yeah.
You take one of those, you fill it up about this much with your dish soap, and then the rest away with water. Now I like to use palm olive, so that way it's not going to mess up my hands. And then I'll make the same thing, wash your hands with it, and it costs, what, 5 or 10 cents, as opposed to $1 for a soap dispenser.
Doesn't it make it kind of thin? I mean, weak.
Well, okay, you take, what, a little drizzle for the entire pan of dishes. The entire. So it's still.
Palm olive is already weak for me. I mean,
Yes, okay.
squirt it in there, it's like nothing.
Well,
I need something stronger for my dishes.
if you want to use Dawn or whatever.
Dawn is much better. It's much.
But anyways,
stronger.
it's
It's
dish
more-
soap that you can use on your hands
Mhm.
and save money. But my personal preference is palm olive because everything else breaks out my hands.
Well, I use gloves anyway,
Yeah.
and I wash dishes.
Okay, put a lid on it. Now, in the microwave or on the stove, your food's gonna cook quicker if you have a lid on it, and it's not gonna spatter as much, so you won't have the cleanup. Also, use a pressure cooker.
I do that.
And I buy my pressure cookers on Black Friday, and they're usually around $20. If you get it any other time in the year, unless it's a secondhand store, they're going to be about $40 or $50.
Well, I got mine in the base, the BX, so it wasn't that.
Okay, but I use a 6-quart pressure cooker
Me too.
for rice and beans,
Yeah.
and even for meat, depending on what
I use it
recipe.
for everything.
Yeah. And it's like about a fourth of the time.
Mhm,
15 minutes for something actually 10 minutes for rice, 10 or 12 minutes. And if you cook it at the regular amount of time, it's going to be half an hour. Same thing
I never
for,
tried it for rice though.
yeah.
My rice doesn't take that long to cook.
The same thing for broccoli and other vegetables that you have to boil. It's going to be a lot quicker. Don't throw it away. Okay, cheese when it's moldy, just cut off the mold and repackage it.
I do that.
Vegetables, cut off the bad spots, and for fruit too. And compost. Okay. Whatever you absolutely can't salvage, you can repurpose as compost. Something you can't eat yourself, maybe your dogs or chickens can eat.
I don't have any of those.
Yeah, well, okay. I have dogs, and I'll feed them watermelon rinds, and what else do we feed them? The other melon rinds, the banana peels, and also something that's kind of iffy on the border of spoiling in the fridge. I'll feed them that too, because their body is different. They're unclean animals, so they're accustomed to cleaning up roadkill. And so their system can take it more than what ours can.
There's something else you can do with watermelon rind, make pickles out of it or something like that. I mean,
Yeah.
different things you can do with that. I know.
Yeah, but most people don't, so, you know. All right, clothespins. I'll use them on a wire hanger in the closet to hang up my sleeveless dresses or blouses, or my slacks or skirts in a set. I put them on my boys' ties when they were little. I just take their ties and clip each one of them with a clothespin on a hanger. Clothesline obviously saves money and energy. And a chip clip. I use clothespins for any perishable, or what do you call it, dry good that I have a bag and clip it on there, or in the refrigerator. I try not to use them in the freezer because everything gets moved around and then it snaps off, and then you've got freezer burn. But
You can get those other little things that you clip on. What do you call those? You close your bags with.
okay,
The black ones.
the Black
With the
Office
little
Max
clip.
ones.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, the ones that you use for paper.
Yeah, I use those.
And those are actually, the spring in them is a lot more powerful than the clothespin. So yeah, that'd work for the freezer. Okay, crock pot. It's cost effective. Now I heard that it's 50 cents a day to run your crock pot. Now I'm not sure what year that is and where he was living at, what his electric bill was. But if it's 75 cents a day or $1 a day, it's still going to be cost effective. You can cook outside with a crock pot. You put everything in it in the kitchen. You don't have to run back and forth from the kitchen to the outside, which I tried doing with I've got a means to cook outside. I've got a stove, an extra stove, but it was too much of a hassle to run back and forth getting all my spices in the heat of summer. But a crock pot, you can just take it and plug it in outside. If you don't have a plug outside, you can run an extension cord to it. I would recommend a thick one that can handle the current in case it is.
Why wouldn't you use it inside?
You can use it inside, but in the summertime, it's not cost effective because you're heating up the inside and then you have to cool it down.
Well,
If you're
mine is not that
cooking
heat.
inside
I
in the
just have a little
summer,
tiny one, so it don't make
Yeah.
much heat.
if you're cooking inside in the summer, then you're heating up the entire house, and you can just shove it in a crock pot instead and put it on the back porch or the front porch, depending on where your critters are. If I put mine on my back porch, my dogs would get into it, my cats would. I put it out on the walkway in the front of my house, so that way it doesn't get disturbed. Make a double batch when you're cooking anything, when you're baking anything. It's more cost efficient because you're using, and it's more time efficient. Because you're using the same time, pretty much, I mean, maybe 5 minutes difference. And the same amount of heat. And you get twice as much. You can freeze whatever's left over if you can't eat it all. My family, we just keep on eating out of the same pot for 2-3 days. So that's the way I do it. Like I said, you can freeze it if you're not accustomed to doing that. Bake,
Bake, I was wondering what that-
B-A-K-E, yeah.
B-A-K-E.
I spelled that wrong. I can't edit it right now, but anyways, yeah.
Okay.
Bake everything at once.
If you have room in the oven.
Well, whatever you have room for, make sure it's full. You can throw some greased potatoes in there, or sweet potatoes, or quick bread in with your chicken, or whatever you're doing. And also, baking in the wintertime is going to produce heat in your house. So, that's another thing. Okay,
Kind of just, do you ever go to the, you go to IGA sometime, right?
yeah.
Do you ever see the reduced produce basket?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, 'cause they have a lot of good stuff in
Yeah, Jackie's saying hit the clearance rack. There's produce clearance racks, there's dairy clearance racks,
there.
there's bread clearance racks, and depending on where you're at and what they have available at the time. And Safeway has a dairy, and IGA has a dairy clearance rack. And,
Where is that? I see the produce and the non-perishables. I
okay.
haven't seen the
Which one?
dairy.
Dairy for Safeway?
No, IGA.
IGA, okay, it's back in the dairy section. Like most of the dairy, it's between the milk and the cheese. There's like one spot that sometimes they have it and sometimes they don't. It just depends what's on sale and what they have room for at the time. Getting kind of hoarse here. Okay, back to basics. Bread probably takes between 25 and 50 cents to bake, and we pay somebody else $1 for it. You can buy a bread machine used at the Goodwill for between $10 and $15.
And the Goodwill is open on Friday,
Okay.
You can get the little thing in the mail. They send out a card.
Yeah.
Kind of cards.
There's half price Saturdays too. Like I think it's the first and third Saturday of the month here.
But there's a coupon on that card.
Oh,
Card that they sent for $5 off.
really?
Yeah. Did you get it in the mail?
No. Guess I
You
didn't
probably
sign
threw
up
it
for
away.
it.
Nobody signed up for anything. They sent it to
No?
every house in Buckeye.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You
Well, I
probably thought it was
didn't
junk
see
mail.
it. Yeah, I didn't see it.
Or maybe you get it in the days.
Okay.
Biscuits.
And you can bake your yeast bread. It's just basically yeast, flour, oil, salt. You can get a recipe,
Yeah.
I throw
I have done that in the past, but it's just too much.
I throw flax seeds in there, and it keeps my family regular. And also, the bran is 79 cents at Fry's for a pound of bran. It's around $1, $1.25 for flax seeds at Sprouts.
99 cent store has
Really?
a pound of flaxseed or the
Oh, that's
meal,
cool.
either one.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, and if I'm making biscuits, cornbread muffins, actually if I'm making muffins, I'll throw in the bran or the flax seeds too. Every little bit helps.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an O blood type, and we just have problems unless we, with regularity, unless we, make sure we get enough fiber in our diets. You can make your own pasta once you get the gist of it in like 5 minutes. I put 15 minutes down because I don't have the gist of it yet. But it's basically just flour and oil and a little bit of water, and then you roll it out. And if you don't have a rolling pin, a bottle will work. Whatever you have available to you. And this guy's name's Jamie. I don't remember his last name, but he's got a Dream Kitchen, Jamie's Dream Kitchen or something like that. You can look him up on YouTube. And he shows you how to cook economically and from scratch, because it's a lost art. People aren't cooking anymore. They're getting everything instant.
Mm-hmm.
He had a group of teenage kids he was teaching how to cook, and the first thing he taught them how to cook was chicken nuggets. And he just had the chicken and the flour and the eggs and and the spices and seasoning in that. And it's cheaper, and the way he did it was quicker. And so, or as quick as, defrosting, he takes 20 minutes in the oven to cook these, the frozen product. So he even and the manufacturer had, I don't know whether it was 20 or 40 ingredients. And that's outrageous, and that's not healthy. And his point is healthiness and economics at the same time, and he's a Britishman, but he came over to the United States to preach to us because of our influence as Americans. We need to give. If we change, then the world will change. That's his philosophy. Okay, the end. Now, I remember previously you were talking about dry cleaning.
Mm-hmm.
What was that product that you used?
There's two. There's one called Dry-L, and Woolite has one too.
Okay, so Dry-L and Woolite are products that you can use in the dryer.
Mm-hmm.
And Miss Jackie always looks really nice in her nice fancy suits every Sunday morning, but she doesn't pay a high price to be able to have them dry cleaned.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you, anything else?
Well, the thrift store, the one out here on 5th Street, I don't know if you've ever been there.
Yeah.
They have clothes outside.
Oh, yeah.
You've probably seen them out there on the racks. And they're only 50 cents.
Right.
So I get a lot of, you have to go there almost every time. Every time I'm out here, I go look. And sometimes they don't have much, but a lot of times I get some really nice things for 50 cents.
Right.
And then if you bring your grocery bags, all those plastic bags, fill up a bag full of those, they'll give you a
coupon
buck
dollar off.
Yeah. So I get my stuff for nothing.
Yeah.
Put 50 cents a piece. You can only use it
for one purchase.
Yeah, for one purchase. If I buy something inside, it's $2 or $3. I only get $1 off.
Right.
But if I buy it outside, I get it for free. I get 2 items.
Okay.
So.
Can you speak up for the camera?
Okay.
So,
It picks up pretty good because I didn't think Bob's was gonna, you know, be heard on here, but it came up.
Cool.
It kind of magnifies the sound.
cool.
Yeah.
All right, so, again, if you take your grocery bags, Jamie, if you take your grocery bags to our secondhand store in town on 5th Street, what's the name of it?
Forgotten Treasures.
Forgotten Treasures
It's right next to the All Faith Community.
and
Church.
All Faith. Anyways, the secondhand store there at All Faith, Forgotten Treasures. If you take in your grocery bags, like a bag full of them or whatever, anyways, a significant amount, they will give you a coupon for $1 off. And Miss Jackie's saying that she uses that coupon on the things that are outside that are reduced for 50 cents a piece, and she gets them for free. And you can also take your egg cartons and get a coupon for $1 off, because they use egg cartons too.
At the same place.
Same place.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, I was working there for a while, and I saw somebody turning in their egg cartons and bags, and I'm like, well, what's that all about? Because I want to know.
Mhm.
Okay. Anything else, Miss Jackie? No.
I should have thought, you know, wrote some things down, but
That's
right
all
now
right.
I'm not thinking of anything.
That's all right. Okay, Jamie? Thank you.
Is that it?
Yep, that's it.
Because we didn't get into the coupons today, then, so that's why I was
Yeah,
going
it's all right.
to talk about that.
What time is it better?
It's
7 minutes to 11 is what I have.
Well, I guess I did work. It was about 40 minutes.
and this took 36 minutes, or closer to 37 actually.
Okay.
37, okay, 10.